2019 meeting of the City of Monona Finance and Personnel Committee. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alder Wood.
Here.
Alder Kitzler.
Here.
Mayor O'Connor.
Here. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the May 20th meeting?
So second.
Any corrections or additions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. There are no appearances. There is no unfinished business. New business, item 6A, consideration of resolution 19-6-2358, reauthorizing CDA Renew Monona Housing Stock Renewal Loan Program. Is there a motion to approve this?
Move to approve.
Second.
Second. Is there any discussion, comments? Brian, I guess, did you want to?
No, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, for the two members that are on CDA, there was a cover memo in the packet which kind of outlines the items that have been included in this kind of reauthorization of the program, some of the more technical tweaks that we've made. I'll take any questions that you might have, Mayor.
Do either of you two have any questions?
Not a question, but just a comment, I guess, that as originally, the CDA had, I think, originally approved this without the home energy or the renewable energy installations as part of it, because we thought that could be covered in the PACE program, which turned out that's only for commercial. And so I think Andy and I kind of pushed for this to be included, and CDA approved it.
Okay, I had, Andy, did you have any?
My only comment was going to be, I think this is a new, a good direction for the Renew Monona program, and kind of hits all the areas that I think are important for the residents of Monona.
Okay. I just had two things. We had the original program, and that was a loan program, and I thought the idea was that as the money was paid back, then it could be lent out again. Is that right? So has any of that money been paid back yet?
I don't have it in front of me, but there's been times it's been paid back
And then re-lent?
yes.
So from now on, when money from that program is paid back, will it just go into this fund, or will it still be
Yes,
two separate funds?
No, it's
or-
the same exact.
Okay, and then will that become the 2% interest rate, though? Because right now, it's not.
I would assume the ones that are I assume they'd be grandfathered.
Yeah, the 2% would cover any new applications that we
Right,
approve.
but once that money goes into this
Yes,
new
the
pot,
new applicaans would be under the 10%.
that'll be 2%
Yep.
then, okay. And, let's see, I think, oh, and I just noticed, are the local credit unions not interested, or?
I've been doing outreach to them to kind of explain the program and get them on board. I've only been successful in getting a hold of somebody that can make decisions on that level at two of them. So
Okay.
it's an ongoing process.
Okay.
I mean, Summit doesn't really have somebody that does mortgages locally, so it's that type of stuff.
Okay, so,
So I have talked specifically to Starion and to Monona Bank, and they both are on board. It's the other banks. I just need to make connections.
and we're still working on that?
Yes, yep,
Okay,
but that's the
all
goal.
Yeah, one of the
Doug?
comments that CDA is still kind of figuring out how much of it to use any given year. I think we talked about maybe 300,000-ish as a cap for any given
Oh,
year,
okay.
rather than burn through it. If we got a whole bunch of applications, spend it all, use it all in one year.
Should that be included anywhere in this?
I don't think so, only because I think we want to give ourselves flexibility.
Yeah.
If we get a bunch of projects that we think are worthy, we don't want to tie our hands. And then I think between staff and the CDA, we can make some determinations on if we think we're getting close to a threshold that we feel uncomfortable lending to.
Okay,
And we can always revisit that question later.
okay.
I would recommend
Mark?
if you're gonna do it that way, just budget it that way. So it's in the budget, you don't even spend 200,000 or 300,000, so that's your budget amount, unless you want to extend it, you just do a budget amendment.
Okay,
So that
okay.
puts a little bit more
Right.
into that.
Anything else? Okay, so do we need a roll call for this?
Yeah, we should.
I guess, will clerk please call the roll?
Alder Wood.
Aye.
Alder Kitzler.
Aye.
Motion is approved. Let's see. Resolution 19-6-2359. Consideration of this resolution authorizing a request for proposals for contracted assessment services. Is there a motion to approve this?
Move to,
Second.
Brian?
Just as you're aware, our contract with Accurate Appraisers ends at the end of this year, so we need to go back out for RFP for those services. What you've got in your packet is the RFP that we'd be sending out. Ideally, I'd like to get this out by July 1 so that we can get responses back by beginning part of August. And then my suggestion for process would be staff would take a look at that. If we have, a lot of submittals, I suspect we'll have 3 to 4. We'll provide this committee, this body, with a recommendation. You can review it, provide your recommendation, and we bring it to council with, whoever we want to select.
Okay. Questions?
Yeah, I had a couple. Does the RFP require them to demonstrate that they are currently licensed as an assessor?
I don't recall seeing that, but we can add that as
Yeah.
a requirement.
And then the other thing was, I know I believe in the current contract, we've required that they go through 25% of the properties, or maybe it's residential properties,
Mhm.
every year. Is that in?
That's in the first paragraph.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. All right, thanks.
Andy?
Nope.
And I don't think I asked for a motion on this, did I, Joan?
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
I did, okay. All right, anything else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next item is the financial report. Mr. Hotaker.
Yes. So I just have a hard copy, so I don't know what you have on the computer, but there's handwritten page numbers at the very bottom of this financial reports. That's kind of what numbers I'll be referring to. Overall, just to start, we budgeted $619,000 use of fund balance in the general fund. I think we'll recoup some of that cost, probably. We'll recoup some of that cost. I can't predict how much right now. Just in general, if you go to page 2, license and permits, right now we're at 63 of our budget for revenues for that. Just so I know in advance, for May, we're actually already at probably 80% of our budget. You'll see when we get to the May stuff. So that will be over budget, but a lot of the large projects all the permits are finally in. So now will be more of the residential permits coming in. So we'll be over budget. As far as how much, I don't have a good idea as of right now. Everything else for revenue purposes are basically right on target. Interest income on page 3. I just forgot to put a number by it, but as you can see, we're already $67,000 over, so that's one of our big pluses. We'll be losing some of that interest per month with closing of TIF 2. But otherwise, that number will probably be $150,000 to $200,000 in the end, probably over budget. We're at the pace we're going right now. There's not a lot. There's not a lot of stuff. Page 6. If you notice elections, I just want to hit this one because this is one we don't really change the budget from year to year. Last year we were over budget, probably about $78,000. This year we're $13,000 under budget. Instead of just yo-yoing that number every year up and down based on the number of elections, we keep it the same. So this year, basically all the elections are done. I know there could be some stuff starting in December, but otherwise that we'll have some savings there. Page 6.2, data processing, storm software program services. That's just our IT people. That's 2 months worth right there. Next page, professional services for assessments. That's a strict $42,000 contract, and that's almost done. They'll have board review, I believe, next month. Tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow. Page 9, just want to, we talked about this a little bit last time we went over the financials. So page 9 is the fire protection, and I kind of talked to Scott a little bit about this one. He's willing to come and talk if needed. So paid on call, projected probably, but you're just based on what the monthly payments are we're paying. We'll probably be about $5,000 under budget. And then paid on premise, which more people are starting to use now, will probably be about $15,000 over by the end of the year on the current pace. So net effect of $10,000. I know last time we talked about doing a budget amendment. I guess I'm talking to Scott a little bit right now. He's kind of operating on, as the budget as a whole, see if there's some savings we have somewhere else. Salaries, we had we had a vacancy for a while, so it's a little under budget there. So I know it's at the end, it's gonna be tight to where we budgeted to, but I think with the savings we'll have overall with the salaries, I think we'll probably might break even or not, but he said he's willing to come back if you think we need a budget for that, budget amendment or not for that.
So then is this going to be an issue going forward to the next budget cycle?
It definitely will be an issue for the 2020 budget, how we're gonna wanna do that and what the policy is and how we implement that.
Do we know, is he limiting it to, like, if there's 5 people who want to stay on premises one night, does he say, oh, only 1 or 2 or whatever if you can, or?
That I don't have that.
Because I think we need to be somewhat keeping a handle on that we're not having all kinds of extra people one night and then the next night we don't have anybody. I mean, I know it isn't convenient, for everyone's schedule all the time, but
Right.
I guess I'd like to know.
That I don't know.
I do realize he's requiring more of some of the more long-term
Correct, I know.
volunteers to actually be putting in the time, but
Yeah, and I think, when they were down a person too, I think they had him working a little bit more when that person was
and
on.
that's understandable.
So, but they are consistent, it's about the same dollar amount every month, so I think it's
Okay, so you think
it's
it's,
pretty consistent right now.
okay.
So do we want to have him come in to talk about?
I think it would be good.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
I don't know if you wanted to come in during his department head meeting, or you wanted ahead of that time. I don't know what his is.
Well, we can just work to schedule his as being one of the first ones. We can do that.
Add a council, add a finance and
Yeah.
personnel or something.
Yeah.
At least, yeah, finance and personnel will be fine. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, Mark, go on.
Well, inspections, just so you're kind of looking at that, it's 2 months right now. For the inspection services, again, that's contracted, and they are going to be busier right now just because of, what's going on the riverfront. Page 11, I don't know if I brought this up last time. Street maintenance, there was the bad winter. So there was a lot of work, equipment maintenance repairs for the snow and salt supply was, we used up a lot of it before the year end. But if you look at snow salaries and the snow and ice overtime, there was a coding issue. So we got that corrected now from going forward. That'll be corrected in the prior years. But really some of that snow and ice salaries was actually overtime. So it's unfortunately that we had to combine those two numbers. So we did use up a majority of our budget at the time. They were working a lot in the streets in the snow and ice.
But Mark, but we're still, even if you add the snow and ice overtime budget to the snow and ice salary line, that's 34 and a half basically. So we're still only have about 3,000
Yeah,
left for the rest of the year.
yeah. And lately, when I do, usually for some of the, knock on wood, November, December, just the last couple of years have been pretty light. So I'm, as long as the overtime's not, it's really the overtime because the salaries overall, they're all allocated. One account might be under or over. When it comes to public works, is how much overtime that's going to be required will be
Right.
the issue. So hopefully, it's one of those things. It's take a chance, I guess.
Right, but you would agree we only have about 3,000
Yes,
left before
yeah.
we're at 100%.
Between the two, it's like 3,500, 3,400.
Okay.
I have a question on page 12. I'm not sure where you're
Yep,
going next. Under forestry,
yep.
this health insurance,
Yeah, so what that is
why is that so much higher in relation to the salaries?
so basically what's going on now is I think with the system's not allocating correctly, so it's all the public works health insurance. So what I do at the end of the year, I take all the salaries for the public works and I allocate it off to the proper accounts. So in the end, this number will,
So it's just a
yeah, if you look at the other
accounting
health
thing.
insurance accounts, they're really low.
Okay,
They're now they're almost zero.
okay.
Can that be corrected before the end of the year?
I mean, I can do it, I can do it probably every 6 months. That's probably the easiest way of doing it.
It makes it hard to track where we're
Yeah,
at.
Yeah.
yeah. I can. Page 13, just one last. is planning, the outside services, that's mainly GEC. So that's their, basically wrap up all the, in there for the planning. Go to page 20. Park and Rec, right now, we have, nothing's recorded really of what happened for April. So we got a new credit card system. They went from ActiveNet to the Civic Plus. And trying to reconcile right now. We're having problems with the GL accounts. We have $55,000 that I need to still allocate that was on the April bank statement. And we're having some timing issues with what the revenues for. So myself and Missy and Jessica have been, the last couple of days, been trying to get this for a while, I'm trying to get this reconciled. We think we'll have it fixed for June and on, but April, May, we're having a harder time to reconcile. The money's all there, it's all accounted for, it's just what accounts it's for, so. But there is $55,000 in there, that's not allocated yet to the different line items. It will be by the next May one, we'll have that all corrected.
Could we go back to page 18 for a minute?
Sure.
Have we not received any franchise fees yet from cable?
It's all received in May, just time when we receive the payments. We're at 25% we're right on target. So we get it every
Okay.
quarter.
We get every quarter, okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure about that.
Same with, they hit on the hotel tax, that's basically right on it. That'll be on the May one too, that's right at 25% too, that's good, so.
Okay.
Otherwise, everything else, well, page 25, here's probably the biggest thing we have to worry about for next year's budget, one of the bigger things for next year's budget. The rebate program is really taking a hit. I know we kind of mention this every once in a while. We're basically, we get zero for newspapers, but that's zeroed out as far as the revenue. We're at 3 months so far. In 3 months, really, you should be at 25%. You're going to be in target. Just kind of myself doing looking at the projections where we at in the last year, what they were getting in the first couple of months this year. We're probably going to be around $23,000 shortfall there. So that's some of that interest income that we're probably going to have to transfer that over to balance this fund at the end of the year.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to figure that into next year's operating too.
It's, yeah, I mean, at current pace, I assume it's, unless something really happens dramatically the opposite way, I think it's, it will be a big hit next year. For
Yeah.
And is that because of overseas markets, they're not buying as much?
I believe so. I mean, there's a couple things overseas markets, and for some reason, newspapers are just not we're not getting any money.
China isn't taking a lot anymore,
Correct.
are
Mhm.
they? It's a
Right.
big part of
So that's really kind of all the capital projects in there where they're at this point. That's all I have for
it.
now.
I have a question on page 31.
Sure.
Under the capital projects, under Winnequa Park North Design and Engineering,
Yeah,
nothing's
that's a-
budgeted for that. Why is there money been spent on it?
That's a misquote. I have to move that. It should be part of the, it's part of the dredging. So
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't find that too, and I forgot to make the journal entry.
Okay.
So that's actually part of the PCP removal.
Okay.
portion.
Anything else? Is there a motion to accept the financial report?
Move to accept the financial report.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And finally, acceptance of general fund accounts payable checks dated May 17th to the 30th, 2019. Documentation of invoices paid is available in the city clerk's office. Mark?
So it's kind of the first page, is I'll just kind of go through these. A lot of these we hit on a lot of the major capital projects. But page 1, Barnes, it's just brush pickup. Including brush pickup. So April, this would have been for the rest of April. So June is just starting this week. So just so you're aware of first pickup. Starts the first cycle. Page 2, Carrico Aquatics. Getting the pool ready. As you know, the pool was supposed to go last weekend. At the very bottom, I guess page 63, that's our number. Dane County landfill. You'll see there's $4 amounts. And then there's codes for 603 and 603 for $8,266. That is the flooding pickup of the sandbags. That's our cost, right? That was the cost for dumping the sandbags into the landfill. That would have been our cost right there. E-Wall on the next page. Automotive Group in Hartford. One is the public works truck. The other one is the park and rec truck, part of the approved budget.
Hey, Mark, just to jump back, have we heard back whether we're getting any federal funding for the flooding?
We are actually, the FEMA person was out today working with that, and they are, I mean, we turned in all the paperwork. They're just reviewing everything, all the invoices have been turned in, so
Gotcha.
hopefully we'll know soon what we have. I'm gonna jump around a little bit further to page 72, I think on the very bottom. Alex C. Browson, just the winding up, this is a monthly bill. As you're aware of before, Four Lakes Yacht Club was kind of our bigger expenses, and that is going away. Page 12, or 673, Dane County Treasurer. We'll see these for the other ones. This is their share of TIF 2 closing. That was officially closed last week. Monday is actually the official date. So that we sent a check out once we determined how much we paid each district. So that was the Dane County share. Page 74, Land Tech, $4,500 is on average a monthly bill for the IT service. Page 75 that goes into page 76, as you can see, that's Monona Grove. The number on page 15 at the very top, that is their share of the closing. Kind of down there, MSA, the projects they're working currently on for us for the bridge replacement. Page 16, just kind of hitting Strand, so that's kind of the projects they are currently working on right now for us. That's kind of all I have. Any questions?
Questions? Is there a motion to accept the bills?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.